Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and Microsoft Recall and Signal. So, Microsoft Recall is a function that Microsoft has put into Windows 11 and going forward. And basically, this function is to create a situation where someone's screen is captured, I think, every 3 seconds. Everything that someone does on a computer is indexed into a database on a computer. The idea is to make it searchable and easier for people to find things on their computer. It was definitely a privacy concern and has always been. Uh, Last year, actually in 2024, when this feature was about to be rolled out, there was a lot of pushback from people, including me, about some of the features back then, the way that they were implemented. So, what Microsoft did, they went back to the drawing board. They made some changes. For example, they made the feature opt in as opposed to opt out, meaning that it wasn't set by default. The database that was being collected or created on the computer now has encryption where it didn't before. So they made some changes, but Signal recently announced in 2025 that as a result of Microsoft Recall, they have to implement by default a default feature using digital rights management to make sure that if someone is using Signal on their computer, it's not capturing their screen. And so Signal actually has been very vocal about the privacy challenges of recall, and people who use Signal may not want their screen or the text or the things that they're writing to be captured and indexed in the database. So, by using this particular hack in some way, this is the way the Signal is trying to get around this. But they're saying that if people change their default configuration to Signal, they may not be able to have that ability. So it limits them in some way, but then also creates the best protection that Signal can offer if people use Windows 11 or a computer that has recall. One of the issues the Signal brought up is that if, for example, let's say you have Windows 11 computer, you are using Signal and you're using it in the default setting, you'll have that digital rights management protection, which is actually meant for copyrighted material, not for privacy. So it's interesting to see that interplay there. But if you're using, for example, someone is using it on their computer and they have changed those default settings, that signal chat or that information can still get indexed on their system, even though it may not be on your system. So this is pretty interesting. I want to see how this rollout happens with recall and how people really react to it. It's been very controversial, even though I know that this recall was supposed to be a marquee feature in Windows when it was first debuted, and so there was so much backlash against it when it initially came out, and people still aren't super happy about the way that it is now because it really does uh, create a privacy challenge for the person who is using those computers, and also about people who don't want their data captured, collated, collected, and also indexed on their machine. So we'll see what happens. I don't think, as of this date, Microsoft hasn't responded to Signal about this, but I'm sure that this topic will continue to be in the news, especially as we see the impact of these types of deployments of Microsoft Recall and how other um, developers of tools are reacting to this feature or functionality. That's it. Thank you.